So we have a saying here, right front corner, that the senior doesn't get the cupcake. Okay, and so what that means is the most senior person in most places gets to go first. But in our school, they go last.
Sir!
Sir. Okay. And that lesson was taught to me by a man named Grandmaster C.S. Kent. And we all know I started training in order to train with my son, who's technically my stepson. And we were finding something to do together. He was 7, I was older. It was 34 years ago. He's 41 years old now. Okay? But that's how we started. And I, just like many of you, tested for color belt, got to be a black belt, and I was an EDOM. Kilsonin. So just like Kilsonin Parker.
Yes, sir.
Many of the instructors we have in our school. That was me. I wasn't Sabanim. I was Kilsonin. I was pretty low on the tree of seniority. And Grandmaster Kim came for a black belt test. And I was holding boards. And the man doing the break was testing for third dan. He ran across the room, jumped over 3 people, bent at the waist, and threw a flying sidekick. Okay, now, many of you believe flying sidekick was developed to be in Hollywood movies. Actually, it wasn't. That's funny, go ha ha. It was developed, take a man off a horse. Okay, that's where flying sidekick came from. You ran up to the side, took the guy off the horse. So this particular test requirement was kind of in deference to that. Well, this candidate was not terribly well prepared. And they missed 3 times. Badly. Well, it should have been over at that point. 3 misses and you're done. 3 strikes and you're out. This candidate was given a 4th chance. Now, I was locked out here on the boards. I was on the right side of the wood, 3 boards. He hit the boards directly in front of my hand. Broke both bones in my left arm. Came off the board and kicked me in the skull. Fractured my skull in 3 places. It was hurt pretty bad. Okay? So, of course, I ended up in the ER, in the hospital. Had to have my arm set, had to have my head fixed, had to have surgery. If I go like this, there's an extra scar. Okay? I have a really cool x-ray. I look, you think I'm... Yeah, I got a lot of metal. I have a plate in my head. But that's not the story. The morning, Grandmaster Kim, this was on Saturday. Monday morning, Grandmaster Kim's going back. Grandmaster Kim is 9th Dan in Tong Soo Do. One of the original founders of Tong Soo Do. A direct student of Grandmaster Wong Ki. And he calls me. Kilsonin Johnson. Oh, I'm like standing up. Okay? I'm not. Keep in mind, I'm way down here. My instructor is up here. 5th Dan. Okay? I'm pretty low down here. I want you to come to breakfast. Oh, yes, sir. Tong Soo. So I get my daughter, because I was taking some pretty serious medication at the time, and was obviously not able to drive. My daughter drove me over to the Renaissance Hotel over here in the Arboretum. We go to have breakfast. Big long table like this. I'm sitting in the most junior spot. Okay? And I get very nauseated. And I realize this is not going to end well. So Master, then Kilsonin Trip Davis, escorts me to the restroom, where I promptly throw up for about 10 minutes. Now, as promised, the story has a happy ending. In Korean tradition, at a table, no one eats until the senior eats. Okay. And I had ordered food. Master Davis and I had. When I walked back, Every single person at that table was sitting there with cold food. No one was eating. Because Grandmaster Kim, the 9th degree black belt, was not going to eat until the injured 2nd Dan, way down on the totem pole, got to eat. So that's where who gets the cupcake comes from. Because I teach my black belts, we're last. That little white belt, that white belt goes first.
Sir!
You take care of that color belt. You take care of those junior students.
Sir!
Right? But that's where it comes from. I'll never forget that.
Sir!
He bowed, picked up his fork, and started eating breakfast. They sat there for like 10 minutes waiting for me. And I was very insignificant in the hierarchy of the martial art. Okay? So that's where that comes from. And I hope students, one of the reasons why I wanted to tell this story was I want you to remember that years from now. After you've forgotten the forms, forgotten the one-steps, forgotten the self-defense, maybe you sit there and remember, oh, I know when Sabadim told me I should let others go first. Okay? I should make sure that the people I'm responsible for are taken care of. Okay? Before I take care of myself.
Sir!
Okay? Being head instructor at Aim and Focus Karate has been, one of the greatest joys of my life. It's something I've done for a really long time. I was telling one of the parents, when I started college, I was an American history education major. And the plan was for me to get a degree, become a teacher, go to seminary, follow my father's professional career, become an Episcopal priest, and teach in an Episcopal high school. And then I realized I was doing that for Father with a small f instead of a big F, and that was probably the wrong reason to go to seminary. So I went where my aptitude lied, computer science. Okay? Because I went to the placement center and I said, oh, look at what American history education majors make, and look what computer science majors make. And then, not to toot my own horn, but I had a perfect math score on the SAT. So computer science came pretty easily to me. Any of you have read my emails realize that my verbal score was atrocious. Okay? So, but the point of this story is, I went to IBM, I worked with Kilson and Ryan, was very successful, made a lot of money. I was an IT architect, built some really big computer rooms. And then I came all the way back around and became a teacher. Because that's really where my heart lied. And in 2000, I was the IT director of a small software company at .com. And I met 80 people at the front door and said, you don't have a job. Effective right now. You don't have benefits, you don't have a pension, you don't have anything. Well, pension you may have had. You're done. We are closing. I sat there and said, I don't ever want to do that again. I want to do something that means something. Nobody remembers the computer rooms I built. Those of you who go to the domain, you're standing on my computer room. You're standing on my IBM accomplishment. 95,000 square foot raised floor. I got a $10,000 bonus for building that. And they plowed it under the ground. It's now the domain. Okay? But there's a few people here who will remember what I taught. And the people I worked with at IBM, while some of them remember me, they don't really remember what I taught them.
Sir!
So thank you. And the other thing is, I never, ever take it remotely slight that you have trusted me with your children. The greatest assets I have in my life, my 3 children, my 6 grandchildren. Okay? So I tell my students all the time, I said, I'm very, very slow to anger. Unless you mess with my kids.
Sure.
And really if you mess with my grandkids. Okay? So I have a picture of me and my grandson walking into Applebee's in Humble. And I posted that on Facebook one day. And Master Jennifer Davis, Trip Davis's wife, sent me a message. Safest kid in Houston, Texas. Yep. There he is, little guy holding my hand. So thank you for everything. I am looking forward to being retired, but I'm sad too. I will really miss the kids. Okay, I won't miss the hours. Okay. At Thanksgiving, I was sitting with family, and my phone rang, and the alarm had gone off. I had to leave my family, drive over here, talk to the police department, whatever. When you're a small business owner, you have to do that. Rain or shine.
Yes, sir.
Now she gets to do that. Okay? All right. And the thing is, 27-year-olds should do that. 65-year-olds maybe shouldn't. So thank you very much. If you have ever studied with me, trained with me, stand up.
Yes, sir.
One good time. Judge! Come in, get in. Now, this is what's important. Kumaksamida! That means what? Every hand should be up. Okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thompson, thank you.